You already know what a shark looks like. The tall dorsal fin cutting through the surface, the streamlined body, 5 gill slits on each side. That image is so burned into our brains that it's basically the universal symbol for danger in the ocean. But there is a shark alive right now that doesn't have 5 gill slits. It has 6, sometimes 7. It doesn't have that iconic, tall dorsal fin at all. The one fin it does have is shoved all the way to the back of its body, almost at its tail, like an afterthought. Its teeth on the bottom jaw look like something out of a Swiss army knife, and its eyes glow green in the dark. It is called the cow shark, and scientists will be the first to tell you nothing about it makes sense. The name doesn't help. Cow shark. It sounds about as threatening as a field in Vermont. But the name isn't about personality. It's about the blunt, rounded snout, wide and flat, vaguely cow-like if you squint. And once you get past the name, what you find is one of the strangest animals in the ocean. There are a handful of living cow shark species. The ones we're focused on today are the 2 most significant: the blunt-nose Sixgill, which can grow up to 16 feet long and weigh over 1,000 pounds, and the broad-nose Sevengill, a shallower water predator that hunts seals and has been documented eating dolphins. They live in oceans worldwide, from the Pacific to the Atlantic to the Indian Ocean. The Sixgill typically stays deep, very deep, up to 8,200 feet below the surface. That's deeper than 22 Empire State Buildings stacked on top of each other. Most of the time, we have no idea what they're doing down there. And that, it turns out, is the point. Every shark you've ever seen a picture of, the great white, the hammerhead, the bull shark, those are modern animals. Evolutionary success stories, yes, but still relatively recent in the grand timeline of life on Earth. The great white's lineage goes back roughly 16 million years. That sounds old. It isn't. The cow shark's lineage goes back at least 190 million years. To put that in perspective, dinosaurs didn't show up until about 230 million years ago. The cow shark was already here. And when the asteroid hit 66 million years ago and wiped out the non-avian dinosaurs, the cow shark kept going. It didn't just survive that extinction. Scientists believe it may have survived the Permian extinction, the one that happened 252 million years ago and killed 96% of all marine life on Earth. To understand what that means, think about every species alive in the ocean today. Every fish, every coral, every crustacean, every whale. Now imagine wiping out 96% of them. This was not just a population crash. It was the disappearance of entire species. The Permian extinction didn't just kill animals. It dismantled entire ecosystems. Food chains that had taken hundreds of millions of years to build collapsed in what geologists estimate was less than 1 million years. The ocean, in the aftermath, was nearly empty. And when it filled back up, the cow shark was still in it. The Florida Museum of Natural History describes the blunt-nose Sixgill as closely resembling fossil forms from the Triassic period. What that means, in plain terms, is that the shark alive in the ocean right now looks almost identical to the shark that was swimming before the dinosaurs existed. Scientists call animals like this living fossils, species so well adapted to their environment that evolution essentially stopped pressing on them. The coelacanth is another example, the horseshoe crab. Animals that found a configuration that worked and never had a reason to change it. It hasn't needed to change. Whatever it figured out 200 million years ago still works. And the reason it still works comes down to something no other living shark has. Most sharks have 5 gill slits. That's the standard. It's been the standard for a very long time. The cow shark has 6. The 7-gill has 7. Before we get into why that matters, it's worth understanding what it actually takes to live where this shark lives. Below about 3,000 feet, the ocean is a completely different world. There is no sunlight, not a trace of it. The temperature hovers just above freezing year-round, and the pressure at 8,000 feet is roughly 250 atmospheres. That's the equivalent of stacking 250 cars on top of a single square inch of your skin. Most complex life can't survive it. Most sharks, physically, cannot function at that depth. The cow shark not only survives it, it lives there permanently. The extra gills are a big part of why. More gills means more surface area to extract oxygen from the water. In deep water, the kind of dark, cold, oxygen-thin environment where the sixgill lives, that matters enormously. Most sharks can't function at those depths because there simply isn't enough dissolved oxygen for their systems to run efficiently. Think of it like this. Imagine you're hiking at high altitude, above 14,000 feet, where the air is thin, and most people get altitude sickness within hours. Headaches, nausea, confusion. Your body simply can't pull enough oxygen from the air to operate normally. Now imagine you were born with a third lung. The altitude isn't a barrier for you. It's a competitive advantage. You can go places other predators can't follow, access food sources they can't reach, and exist in an environment where nothing can threaten you. That's what the sixgill's extra gills do. They let it colonize depths that are essentially off-limits to almost everything else. Down there, it has the darkness to itself. The top jaw is fairly conventional, pointed, gripping teeth designed to hold prey. The bottom jaw is something else entirely. The lower teeth of a cow shark are called coxcomb teeth. They're wide and flat, with multiple cusps, almost like a row of tiny saw blades fused together into one long, serrated unit. Scientists describe them as unique among modern sharks. There's nothing else in the ocean that looks like them. Most shark teeth are variations on a theme: pointed, triangular, serrated edges. The cow shark's lower jaw looks like a completely different design philosophy, because it is. They are not mainly built for capture, they are built for dismemberment. The sixgill is documented eating bony fish, other sharks, rays, seabirds, marine mammals, and carrion, the carcasses of large animals that have sunk to the ocean floor. When a whale dies and begins its slow descent, the cow shark is often one of the first large predators to arrive. Those coxcomb teeth work like a pair of scissors, designed specifically to slice through thick flesh and bone that has been dead long enough to be tough and rigid. The broad-nosed sevengill takes things further still. In South Africa, off the coast near Cape Town, it has been documented hunting in coordinated groups, circling prey, cutting off escape routes, working together to bring down animals too large for a single shark to manage alone. Cape fur seals, dolphins, other sharks. Pack hunting. In a shark that most people have never heard of. The sevengill has also been found with human remains in its stomach, though scientists note they cannot confirm whether the remains were obtained through predation or scavenging. Either possibility, it has to be said, is not particularly reassuring. And then there is the question of what happens to the cow shark itself. In 2015, at a dive site near Cape Town called Miller's Point, researchers found 7 dead sevengill sharks on a single day. No signs of human activity. When they examined the bodies, every one of them had been ripped open at the gills, and every one of them had their liver removed, the only part that had been eaten. The bite marks matched a known pair of orcas that had been working the South African coast. Two male orcas, so distinctive they'd been given names, port and starboard, for the direction their dorsal fins curved. Specialist shark hunters targeting specifically the liver, the most calorie-dense organ in the body, and leaving the rest behind. The cow shark, ancient as it is, still has predators. Every night, all over the world, this animal proves those teeth aren't a relic. They're still in use. For most of history, we assumed the blunt-nosed Sixgill was a deep-sea animal, period. Something that lived its entire life at 2,000 to 8,000 feet below the surface, in water so cold and dark that it barely touched the world above. That assumption was wrong. For years, researchers had tried to tag Sixgill sharks to track their movements. The problem was the method. They'd pull the sharks to the surface to attach the tags, and then something strange would happen. The tagged sharks would behave erratically, moving in patterns that didn't make biological sense. The data was almost useless. It took a while for scientists to realize why. The act of bringing a deep-water animal to the surface with its crushing pressure change was stressing the sharks so severely that their behavior after tagging was nothing like their normal behavior. They weren't studying the shark. They were studying a traumatized version of it. So researchers from Ocean X and Florida State University tried something different. They went down to the sharks. Using a submersible vessel equipped with a dart gun, they tagged Sixgills in their natural environment, the first time that had ever been done. And the data that came back was not what anyone expected. During the day, the sharks stayed deep, thousands of feet down, barely moving. But at night, they rose. They came up to within a few hundred feet of the surface, sometimes into water shallow enough that recreational divers had encountered them, to feed. Then, before dawn, they descended again, back to depths where the pressure alone would kill an unprotected human in seconds. Every single night, rising and falling with the darkness like something timed to a clock only they can hear. This means the cow shark is not sealed away in the abyss the way we thought. It moves through the water column, through waters where boats travel, where divers swim, where the surface world and the deep world briefly overlap. And it does it silently, in the dark, in a body that has barely changed in 200 million years. Scientists still aren't entirely sure why. The leading theory is that prey concentrates near the surface at night as part of a daily vertical migration, with smaller animals ascending in darkness to feed, and larger predators following them up. But the full picture, where exactly these sharks go, how far they travel, how many of them are doing it, is still largely unknown. We've only tagged a handful, ever. So let's go back to what we started with. You know what a shark looks like. The image that's been in your head your whole life. The cow shark is a shark, but it has extra gills that no modern shark should have. Teeth that belong to no other living animal. A body plan unchanged since before the dinosaurs. And every night, all over the world, in waters you may have swum in, it rises from the dark and hunts. It survived the Permian. It survived the asteroid. It survived the orcas at Miller's Point, or at least enough of them did. It has watched every other apex predator on this planet come and go, from megalodon to the mosasaurs, to species we'll never even discover because the fossil record swallowed them whole. What's remarkable isn't just that it survived, it's that it survived without changing. Most animals that persist through extinction events do so because they're fast to adapt. They evolve quickly, shift behavior, and find new ecological roles. The cow shark did the opposite. It found something that worked and held onto it with everything it had. The same gills, the same teeth, the same slow rise in the dark. 200 million years of the same answer to the same question. How do you stay alive in the ocean? And it's still here. The cow shark has never seen a human being from an evolutionary standpoint. Our entire species, Homo sapiens, has existed for roughly 300,000 years. The cow shark's lineage is 600 times older than that. We are, in the context of its existence, a very recent development, a blip. A few 100,000 years of activity in an ocean it has patrolled for nearly 200 million. Most nights, somewhere in the ocean, a Sixgill is making that slow rise from the dark. It doesn't know what a human is. It doesn't know what a boat is. It doesn't know about extinctions or asteroids or the Permian. It just rises. The same way it always has. The same way it was rising long before there was anyone down here to notice.